Hi everybody, it's Amy the Potter, and it's time for me to trim. This is not the best trimming box, but it's what I'm using until I find an apple box. The lid of an apple box is the best. So I'm gonna clean up my wheel, and I just thought I would show how I clean up my wheel, because cleaning it can be deceptively difficult. So I just took all the kind of leftovers of what I've been working on, and this has been my special little thing, flower. It just keeps on going. And I'm just going to put that to the side for now. And then when I have the presents to do it, this is my favorite way to clean up my wheel, is just to empty my splash pan back into the bucket. I'm not going to give it a great cleaning now. This is just kind of like temporary, like daily kind of cleanup. I really like to have a relatively clean workspace, and I just find that it helps to get into good habits of keeping things clean. Exhaling, kind of staying in control of this so there aren't any really big drips or surprises in my face, hopefully. Kind of guiding the clay in. Also kind of take care of my body, right? Kind of strange position to be in for any period of time. It's bending down right now. Just being aware of that. How does my body feel doing this? It's a good question to ask a lot. Okay, so I'll just stash these to the side for now. And I'll use a sponge to clean up all this stuff, all the wet stuff. So I don't want to be making my other tools dirty just by putting them on top of wet stuff. Oh, so we can save ourselves so much time by kind of being in the habit of cleaning up after ourselves. I have this rolling cart too that has all of my tools. I don't have that many tools. I barely ever use tools, but anyway, I just like them all right there in that little cart. I got it off Amazon. I saw another potter do it. I want to appreciate how everybody shares their wisdom on here. Learn so much from other people's generosity. So, slightly damp sponge is more absorbent than a dry sponge, so I just wet this down and wrung it out. And contain everything. It doesn't have to be perfect, but good is better than bad. Okay. So, switching over to trimming now. I have some platters to trim. Just gonna put that down for a minute. I think it's okay. Now, hopefully I didn't just make my floor dirty. Everything's so dirty in a pottery studio. Okay, while I'm here, because why not? This is how I like to clean the bat pins. You know how it gets all gunky around a bat pin? I just grab onto it and go around, grab on and go around. It's really great. You can also run a rigid tool around like that, and it'll loosen up any kind of crust and crud. So that's fun. And then here's how I switch my wheel into the trimming wheel. So I'll be using a foam bat to trim today, trimming platters. So the first thing to do is find the foam bat. And let's see, this is the one that's the driest, I think. This is how I dry them on newspaper, right side up. I made another video about flipping them. Put that in there. So, put that down. center that as best I can. Note where the bat pins are. Put it right here, my finger's pointing to it. Okay. Put that, I saved the same newspaper, it's probably from years ago, so I know the bat pin's here. Exhale, find it, and now I gotta kind of dance. Let's see, just account for this. I know it's like right around there. So, oh, did I find it? Yes, yes, okay. Okay, so now the way that I trim it is I use this as a trimming catcher. Very effective. And then I'll go ahead and trim this while we're all here. I'll just trim one and then I'll do the rest. So, trimming platters. I get this guy. I don't know if I'll use that, but I'm just gonna get it. This guy. And then I need to sign it. Right now I can just sign with this guy. And anything else? I don't think so. Okay, so I changed seats for trimming. I set lower so I can be more upright. Wait. I exhale and stay connected to my process. I lower my feet down. Okay, I go on. I get comfortable. Signing stick, this guy. Who knows, maybe that guy. Okay. I'll check to see if it's centered. Looks pretty good to me. Just gonna shift it the tiniest bit away. And we'll call it good. Okay, so let me just gently clean up the bottom to start. If you have like some rough stuff on the outside of your clay, sometimes it just kind of winds up throwing you off. So it's a big piece. I don't want to throw myself off as much as possible. Now, hopefully you can see this. Exhaling, cutting a foot. When it comes off ribbony like this, I like this tool. Alright. Feels good. Feels really good. Glad to make time to trim these today. Okay. I'm going to cut a double foot for a platter. I want it to be really supported. I don't want it to sag. So I'll cut a wide foot. Just feeling for the depth. Doesn't need to be very deep. And then the middle one, I'm just going to cut it like that. Sometimes I would cut 2 rings with a wider platter, but for this one I'm just going to do like that, which is like a large version of my plate. From 3 o'clock, I'm moving my tool with every rotation of the wheel. And I had this one teacher who taught trimming this way. I don't even remember the guy's name. This is the only thing I remember, whoops, from his class was this part. You make the ridges, you make the lines when you're trimming. Make those little grooves. This was in Olympia, Washington in, I think, 1990. At like, maybe it was called Opus or something. Okay, so and then you take the lines out with the flat. And I just always remembered that from that one class. I had this feeling when I was a student that I wanted to learn at least one thing from every teacher. So if I was in a class and I was like, I'm ahead of this group, or I'm not learning anything, I looked for one thing I could learn from that teacher. So if you happen to sometimes have a negative attitude about things, you might want to try that. Maybe there's one thing I can learn in this situation, even if I feel miserable, even if I don't connect or whatever. Maybe there's one thing I can learn. So, even though that is what I learned from him, I'm going to trim a little bit more assertively right at this moment. Since this is right against the foam bat, I don't get a lot of feedback about if it's getting thin. So I just have to guess. These platters, I've been such a rebel lately making stuff. I haven't been measuring things. I haven't been so these platters were all different sizes, like different weights, between 6 and 7 pounds or 7.5. And so that means that I never got to say okay, this is the right diameter for this platter. So I have a thick enough bottom. And that's a great thing to think about, is the weight of the clay determining the diameter of a plate, so you have the right sized bottom. You're welcome. Okay. A little bit more. This is the one place I can really get some feedback about thickness. Okay. Feels pretty good to me. Looks great. Okay. Another one of these gentle drags, just in case I have any schmutz on there, as we would say, schmutz. And then lately I've been really into extra spirals, so. Some of those things are happening. Okay, and then I'll sign it with this guy. Okay, so this is the end of our time together. I'm going to put it back onto the bat that it came off of. And if there's any kind of concave, I'm going to make sure, so this bat has just like a slight bow this way. So I'm going to make sure that the middle of the platter is on this side, not sinking in this on this side. So I'll put that down with the middle on the high point of the platter. Switch it over. I can put it down here just for a sec, not on the bat pins. We'll just check it out. It looks good. It looks good. So if I had gotten really thin there, we would see some irregularity here in the platter. And I'm just going to very gently run my fingers on it. Same thing, just in case there's anything going on the surface. I can kind of help it. This is the last time I'll be able to help it. And after this, I will not touch it. So look it over. See if there's anything that might want a little bit of attention, like a little thin spot, a little schmutz. Here's a little piece of trimming. Doesn't really matter. Let's take a look. Okay, I don't need to keep licking my finger. Find this sponge, baby. Come on now. Okay, these are dry sponges. Good. Oh, here. Okay, so just gonna clean it up a little bit with this dry sponge, or this slightly damp sponge. The wheel's off. It's not at all like connected here, so it's good to have the wheel off. I mean, it'd be fine to be on, but then I should really kind of stabilize it. My pedal doesn't really work. My foot pedal. I need to fix it. I've just gotten used to it like it's car idiosyncrasy, but my pedal has it's unreliable as far as like staying down. If I take my foot off it, it may or may not stay where I have it. So it's not tight enough. Basically, the pedal's too loose. But it's been like this for like maybe 10 years. So it might just be time for a YouTube video and a repair. We're funny creatures, aren't we, humans? Some of us are hilarious. All right, there's my plotter. Wheels off. Check them one more time. And thanks for watching, everybody. Have fun in the studio. As much as you can. Have fun in your life. As much as you can. Peace out.